India wins freedom. The Indian National Congress achieved limited success during its early years. Dadabhai Nauroji and Gopal Krishna Gokhale were moderate leaders. They believed in pleading with the British government to bring about reforms. Gradually, there grew another group within the Congress. They were called the Radicals. They wanted to oppose the British strongly. They were in favor of strikes and boycotts. Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Bipin Chandra Pal were the three popular leaders of the radical group. Partition of Bengal. In 1905, the British decided to partition Bengal. One part was to have a largely Hindu population, while the other part was to have a Muslim majority. The partition was an attempt to prevent Hindus and Muslims from uniting against the British. People strongly opposed the partition. The Congress launched the Swadeshi and the Boycott movement. As a result, the British were forced to reunite Bengal in 1911. Swadeshi and Boycott. Swadeshi means of one's own country. The movement aimed to popularize the use of goods made in India. People were asked to boycott all foreign goods. They made huge bonfires of foreign-made goods. A large number of women and students joined the movement. The government tried to suppress the movement. The Revolutionaries. Some young people in Bengal, Punjab and Maharashtra felt that the moderates and the radicals had not achieved enough. These revolutionaries believed that the British could be driven out of India only through force. They were willing to sacrifice their lives for the country. Ajit Singh, Aurobindo Ghosh, Khudiram Bose and Veer Savarkar were early revolutionaries. Some of them were later arrested and hanged. Gandhiji leads the nation. In 1915, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi returned to India from South Africa. In South Africa, he had fought against the racist policies of the white rulers. His method of fighting, known as Satyagraha, was based on two principles: truth and non-violence. After returning to India, Gandhiji travelled across the country. He was shocked by the poverty. He decided to fight not only against the British but also the prevailing social and religious practices, especially the caste system. Jallianwala Bagh massacre. On 13th April 1919, a public meeting was held at Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar. General Dyer came here and ordered his soldiers to fire at the crowd. Hundreds of people were killed and thousands were injured. The country was shocked by this incident. All national leaders protested strongly against this cruel act. Non-cooperation movement. In 1920, Gandhiji launched the non-cooperation movement. He asked people to disobey laws peacefully. But in Chauri Chaura, some people set fire to a police station and 22 policemen died. Gandhiji was against violence and he withdrew the movement immediately. Leaders such as Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Sarojini Naidu, C. Rajagopalachari, Maulana Azad, Chittaranjan Das, Motilal Nehru and Jawaharlal Nehru participated actively in the non-cooperation movement. Simon Commission. The law and other situation in the country was getting out of control. The government decided to make some changes and appointed the Simon Commission. It came to India in 1928. As there was no Indian member in it, the Congress decided to boycott it. A new group of revolutionaries became active at this time. Rajguru, Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, Chandrasekhar Azad and Batukeshwar Dutt challenged the government. Civil disobedience movement. In December 1929, the Congress demanded Purna Swaraj from the government. The civil disobedience movement began in early 1930 under the leadership of Gandhiji. The movement began with the Dandi March. Indians were not allowed to make salt. Gandhiji and his followers walked from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi along the coast of Gujarat. Here Gandhiji made salt and broke the salt law. The movement soon spread to other parts of India. Quit India movement. In August 1942, Gandhiji started the Quit India movement. The British government was asked to quit India. Gandhiji asked the people to do or die in their attempt to throw the British out of the country. There were nationwide protests. Many leaders were jailed. Indian National Army. Subhash Chandra Bose was the leader of the Indian National Army, also known as Azad Hind Fauj. He fought against the British. He gave us the slogan Jai Hind. India becomes free. After the Second World War ended in 1945, the British government agreed to leave India. However, it was decided to divide the country into two, India and Pakistan. On 15th August 1947, India became a free country. Independent India. Jawaharlal Nehru was elected the first Prime Minister of India. Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the first President. With this began a new phase in the history of India. Now let's recall. The moderates and the radicals were the two groups within the Congress. In 1905, Bengal was partitioned to divide the Hindus and the Muslims. The Swadeshi Boycott movement was launched in protest against the Partition of Bengal. Gandhiji launched the non-cooperation movement in 1920. He asked people to use peaceful methods of protests. The Indians boycotted the Simon Commission. The Congress demanded Purna Swaraj in 1929. Soon after, the civil disobedience movement was launched. The Quit India movement was launched in 1942. The British were asked to leave India. India became free on 15th August 1947. Thank you.